This is my favorite slide. I use it quite often. You know, when we think of the markets, invariably we all think of the share bazaar, let us say. But we have actually a very vibrant bond market. Now, people do not know this. People do not know this. So, two things I would like to say. Number one, some statistics. While the secondary market in bonds is not very active, and we're doing a bunch of stuff to try and improve that, in terms of the primary market issuance, okay, if you look at the total bonds outstanding today and compare it to the total banking loans to the corporate sector, it amounts to 60%, which means for every 100 rupees that the banking system gives to corporate India, the bond market gives 60 rupees. Most people are not aware as how large that number is. Now, specifically in this slide, what I like to talk about is we are expecting this to grow much more, because with the inclusion of the Government of India securities in the global indices, right, that's already happened, JP Morgan, Bloomberg indices, we can expect to see a large amount of foreign interest in our Government of India securities. And once the Government of India yield curve is established, investors automatically tend to come into our corporate bonds as well, because then it's you just benchmark off the Government of India yield and add the credit spread. So until you have that yield, people don't have that much interest in corporate bonds. So we should see a good amount of inflow in the corporate bond market. And that's when, as people tell me, now you won't need to have an Indian hero there. So I said, we'll definitely put Akshay Kumar there in the same natty suit. One of the things that people used to worry about every time the markets were dislocated, the bond markets, they would say liquidity dries up. And you know, people are stuck. Now, you remember what I said about democratizing not just entry, but also exit. Something absolutely sparkling that this government has done, and it's gone relatively unnoticed, I feel sad about it, is something called the backstop facility, which the government has put in place with sovereign guarantee. Think about it. The government has said 30,000 crores of asset purchase program guaranteed by the Government of India in the event that there is a stress in the market and the mutual funds, the debt mutual funds are stuck and they don't want to sell at distressed prices in a dislocated market. They have actually sanctioned that guarantee. And what that means is that the fear that some people have, that because the markets are not so liquid, tomorrow if there's a crisis and the market freezes up, what will happen? Well, the government has stepped forward and actually said, well, we will stand behind the bond market. So this was a very, very important step taken by the government to really facilitate the growth of the bond market and to protect the investors. The second thing which SEBI did was to create a very specialized institution called the repo, corporate bond repo clearing corporation. The reason this was important and what this slide is meant to demonstrate is the product was always there in the market. It was not getting used. And we realized that the exchanges who are focused on equity will never have the management bandwidth to focus, eat, dream, drink, breathe the bond market. So we created a whole new institution. And we were told, it's very hard to set up a new institution. Yes, it was hard, but it was created. And that again was a cooperative effort of the entire mutual fund industry. So, this is, every time I narrate these stories, as I said in ASCO, people cannot believe how much cooperation and collaboration exists in our ecosystem for people to come together to grow the market. So this is an institution, and I'm very proud to say, I believe in February they crossed 10,000 crores of repo on corporate bonds.
The last hour. Anything can happen between the bells. But what happens during the last hour is what matters the most. The biggest market swings. A close-up look at what's driving them. And how the investors are reacting. Watch the most seasoned market mavens guide you through the most important hour of the trading day. NSE Closing Bell. At these times, only on CNBC-TV18 and CNBC-TV18.com.